Good day, ma'ams and sirs, and welcome to the podcast with over 500 downloads. That's right, a huge number 9 thanks to each and every one of you who have supported us, and please continue to do so. Also, tell a friend about me and my lovable life mate whose phone is on vibrate. You won't hear it rattle your speakers because it's up in his keister. His wife gets passed around like a church collection plate, and she spends most mornings brushing out that erection taste. She's easier than a mad minute, and her squish mitten can't keep count of all the mushroom tips that it's had in it. Like a Lamborghini hitting top speed, she's wide open. He finishes sex, underwhelmed because he doesn't feel a thing but an awful sting every time she's rocked. But inside her crotch, there's some body rot, an ear from Spock, an infected spot, and a Timex watch. He's the yin to my yang, and the chin for my wang. Tommy fucking Washington, what's up, man?
Pat, I can't wait for Erica to listen to this. She's gonna fucking murder you.
I'm so excited.
I don't think you should be, dude. I don't think you're gonna be allowed over the house anymore.
We're going to have to move the podcast to the basement.
What basement?
My basement.
Doubt it.
Well, that's if you're allowed at my house anymore after this.
True.
Yep, come on.
Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail.
All right, Pat. It's time for my favorite segment, mail time. Not sure why Pat's laughing.
Because mail time is your favorite section. That's M-A-L-E, mail time.
Yes, sir.
That is Tommy's favorite section.
Yes, I love the penis.
That struck me funny.
I love the penis so much I ask people to stick it in my mouth.
Oh, boy.
Nope, that was you, Pat. That was you.
It was not people. It was person. One single solitary person.
Either way. What we got over there on iTunes? We got any reviews?
We do. I have an iTunes review in front of me. I know there is at least one more coming. Somebody texted me, and they take a couple days. So not only that, but then we take a couple days because the podcast is behind a couple days. So it's like if you review us, it's like a week before you end up, being read on.
Basically, what he's saying is the best way to review us is to send us an email. We get that instantaneously.
No, keep doing that shit on Apple, and then send us emails with questions. That's
yeah,
perfect.
we can do that too. Whatever you guys want.
Nice little blend. So this one is from Beer for My Turtles. That's the name, and the title is Patrick is greater than Tommy. It's actually a greater than sign. So this person is into math. It says the only thing that could make this show better is if a tropical storm took out Chunk Dizzle, and Patrick had to go it alone. I greatly appreciate this person for bringing the call back to the tropical storm.
When I figure out who this is, I have a feeling that Pat wrote this.
Why do you think that?
Because that's something that you'd say.
I thought you would say that when I saw it because it says Chunk Dizzle. And I was like, how often do I call him Chunk Dizzle on the air?
It's not very often. Yeah.
The throw off is Beer for My Turtles. I don't know. That's I get the reference. Like,
is that the whole thing?
Like Beer for My Horses? Yeah, no, that's the whole review.
That person's great. They just kept it short and sweet, I guess.
Yeah, they went for the fucking throat.
Apparently I suck, even though we named the podcast after me, essentially.
I mean, what do you mean? Essentially, we completely named the podcast after you.
Yeah. So whoever that was, go fuck yourself.
So that's my mail time segment. What do you got, buddy?
We got an email from, I don't know, he doesn't say not to put his name out there, so I'm just gonna...
hold on. We're gonna go with the only man on the planet who has bigger hands than Tommy. Don fucking Raup.
Yeah, there you go. He sent this in. Now, I don't know if Don remembers me. I worked with him when I worked with Patrick.
Of course he remembers. She was not my ex-wife.
I don't think he remembers me. But anyway, he sent us in. You two need to send me a t-shirt for listening to you two. Joking. I enjoy listening. It's like we were just sitting around bullshitting. Nothing changes from a normal as you two can be, conversation. I think the listeners would like more of your life stories. I do enjoy it. Keep it going, you two fat fucks. From a fat fuck himself.
Well played, Donnie. Well played.
Yeah, that was, like I said, I haven't seen Don in probably 10 years, but that was, thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Anything else? Any other reviews, Pat?
Man, Don had to, when I talked to Don and told him about the podcast, I think he was either doing yard work, getting ready to go on vacation. He was doing yard work while he was on vacation. So, I mean, thanks, man. Use your vacation time to listen to us.
Well, that and he drives an awful lot.
That's significantly smarter than we recently heard somebody using their work time to listen to us.
Yeah.
We should be clear about this. If you're listening to us at work, there's a tool that was created. It was last week or the week before. They're called headphones.
Yeah, just put those in.
You want to listen to us with headphones, and you do not want to, and I'm not kidding, broadcast us over your work radio.
Not a good idea. Unless you work in like a shop or something where it's just dudes, or even females, it doesn't matter. But where you have the general public coming into your store, you do not want them listening to this. While I appreciate the publicity, it's not a good look for the store.
Terrible plan.
Yeah, terrible. Terrible.
But still, thank you. Thank you for keeping your bad decisions with us.
Yeah. Hopefully we can't get in trouble for your bad decisions. Anything else, Pat?
No, I mean, I had a lot of text messages. If you remember, Will Hunting from the Bristol store back in. Okay, I'll turn my phone off.
Yep. Every fucking show, and people supposedly were texting Pat talking shit about my watch last week. So.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, no. So you were saying that they couldn't hear your watch. I got multiple texts that say I can hear Tommy's watch clear as day.
Well, obviously I listened to it. I heard the watch. It's not a big deal. Pat's phone goes off nonstop in the show.
I silenced it after the first time.
Yeah.
Anyways, Will Hunting, who we'll use that because he was a big motherfucker. So I chose Good Will Hunting as a reference because he was good at cards, and that's cards? Rounders, not fucking Good Will
You're
Hunting.
A dumbass.
All right, we're still gonna call you Will Hunting because now it's out there. He was like an active participant in the podcast. He was, as he was listening to every episode, he was texting me, he was dying. It was really fun because I could tell how much he was enjoying it, which was nice. It's nice to be entertained.
It's amazing what happens, Pat, when you tell people about the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, all the feedback. The one was Donnie. I mean, that was I mean, I'm putting the word.
At least he went to the website. As Pat says, people are texting him. I don't know if that's true because I never see him. Go to the website, send us an email. I'm
gonna have to start screenshotting and sending you these text conversations.
That works out.
I'll do that. Also, Paul Walker was he was listening to it with his girlfriend, so they were going to I think Provincetown for their vacation this weekend.
Yeah.
I can't remember. He sent me something about like she was in tears, and when we called him. So they're listening to the podcast, and she doesn't know that this is
for no reason. Yeah, nice guy, nice guy.
So they enjoyed the podcast on their vacation as well.
Yeah. So keep sending in some ideas. Well, reviews are great. If you guys could send in some ideas for us to talk about, whatever you guys want to hear us talk about. Like Don did, he wants to hear more stories, and we got some today. Number 9 with Tommy, or number9podcast.com. You can go on, it'll send us an email right away. Or you can email us at thenumber9podcast@gmail.com. On Twitter, number9pod, and Facebook, number9podcast with Tommy.
It's me, Versace. Whoops, somebody shot me, and I was just checking the mail. Get it? Checking the mail.
All right, so me and Pat were supposed to review Days of Thunder and The Godfather on this episode. We decided that for Thursday's episode, we're going to have a special guest. I'm not going to say who it is yet, but that person would like to review those two movies with us.
Peek behind the fourth wall. We is what we call an editorial we. Tommy decided that shit because I am ready to go. I watched both movies I was supposed to watch. Tommy, how was The Godfather?
I haven't watched it yet because I knew this was going to happen. And like I said before, dude, it's hard to find 3 hours to watch a movie.
Had all the time in the world to play poker last night, didn't you?
Not really. I mean, we were done with poker by like 10:30.
Were we really done that early?
Yeah, and then we ended up talking with that driver.
That big-beaked brother of mine, Tony, took down poker last night, you son of a bitch.
That happens. What are you going to do? I mean, that's why we normally don't invite him.
It's true. We have a much better chance.
He doesn't listen to the podcast, so we can say whatever the fuck we want.
That's true. That's why I refer to him as my big-beaked brother.
Yeah. Trust me, he's not big at all.
On a hot day, I actually hide under Tony's nose for shade.
Nice.
That's a true story.
So Pat watched Ready Player One like he was supposed to, and
I did my job. What's up?
and I watched Sleepers because if you were
Because you
listening,
guys remember when I said he should watch Sleepers 100 years ago, and he vehemently denied ever being able to watch that movie because I said it was twisted.
no, he said it was dark. Now listen, I don't think Pat wants the story out there. Why I think that if Pat says something is dark, it's fucking dark.
Well, there's like 30 stories that would validate that point.
Do you want me to tell the story of what I related to, Pat?
Oh, wow. That's not even the one I was thinking of. How fucked up is that? That's how many stories there are.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking. Well, now I'm on the same page as you. And no, I don't think that's really fit for radio consumption.
I think it's great radio consumption. These people would get a real taste of who you are.
Maybe one day we'll take a
Maybe
shot
that
at telling
person who
that
wrote
story.
that review would change their mind about what a piece of shit you are.
Beer for my horses?
Yeah.
Beer for my turtles? Whatever
Yeah.
their name was. Sorry, Beer for my turtles. Yeah, so are we going to do the movie reviews? And
Oh, we can do a movie review,
he
Pat.
said, as he segued carefully away from the story that Tommy wants to tell.
It's kind of like a movie. Anyway, yeah, we could do the movie reviews. Why don't you go first? What do you think of Ready Player One, Pat?
Damn it, I just put my phone down. Hold on. All right. My movie review for Ready Player One. Oh, fuck me running. You told me that we were only covering one movie, so I highlighted and deleted the wrong movie. So hold on a sec. There we go. Ready Player One, 7.5 on IMDb, which is by far the highest rated movie Tommy has recommended. This is the first time that one of the movies that Tommy has recommended is rated higher than the lowest movie I've ever recommended to him. So kudos on at least
Pat
a
doesn't
popular
understand
opinion.
this, that IMDb is the general public, right? So everybody has different taste. Maybe more people agree with your taste in movies, which is fine, but it's not really something like I think we need. What were those two dudes who used to review the movies? They were like on the back of all the movies.
You're kidding, right? Siskel and Ebert?
Yeah, that guy.
Well, or in your day, Roper and Ebert?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
2 thumbs up?
Yeah, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, them guys. Yeah, this is a better rating system. It involves everybody, not 2 movie critics who, listen, they were historically bad. Waterworld was like this ridiculously overrated movie by movie critics, and Waterworld, when it hit the population, was such shit that even I wouldn't put it in the ocean. It was a bad movie.
You don't like Waterworld?
No. You do? Do you like Waterworld?
I've never seen the whole thing. It's fucking weird to me.
This goes to the point. Anyways, so just a quick recap of how we landed at Ready Player One, because I'm confident that Tommy wants me to die from just pain. The first movie was about drinking. I'm an avid non-alcohol user, and I don't really enjoy when other people are drinking around me. The second movie was about dogs, and I'm a huge cat lover. The third movie, which now we're going out of order, was about race cars, and I think NASCAR sucks. And the fourth movie, it's a fucking sci-fi movie.
No. But it's about video games, you dumb shit.
Okay, hold
and
on.
you love video games.
With the exception of Star Wars, and Tom knows this, I fucking hate sci-fi movies.
How would I know that about you?
Well, we've been friends for like 36 years.
We have.
I'm not even 36, and you're younger than me. Also, what a weird turn, because this is a newer movie. This is the newest movie you've recommended to me. This is, by all accounts, a new movie.
Yeah, it's a couple years old.
And the opening song is fucking 80s rock.
That's because it was
the
about
fuck?
fucking pop culture, dude.
It's amazing how you can keep things right in my little anti-wheelhouse. This movie is incredibly unique with what I would say is an unprecedented story. I've never seen anything like the concept, the idea, the delivery. It's a thrill ride like the entire way through. It's very, I don't want to say fast paced because that's not fair. It's like 2.5 hours. It's not very fast paced. It keeps you very interested. Parts of it were just a little too like corny for my taste, a little too unrealistic, but that's because I prefer hyper realistic, right? Like that's just like what I like. True stories. I like movies based on true stories.
Realistic.
Star Wars is completely realistic. Here's why. Because at the beginning of Star Wars, in that text that feeds up the screen, it says, a long, long time ago in a galaxy far away. And I go, boom, got it. I can get on board now because they're not saying this was Earth. In fact, Star Wars never goes to Earth. It never talks about Earth. This movie takes place on Earth.
But it's 20 years in the future.
Yeah, 2045.
Which could very well be what's real.
Okay, again, I have not said anything bad about this movie. I said I don't like sci-fi.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you.
This was about as good as sci-fi gets. The music, as far as music goes, that came out of the 80s, was about as good as 80s music gets. The soundtrack, while it is plagued by 80s music, it's pretty good stuff. Not that I would like jam out to it, but I didn't mind listening to it on the movie. They even mixed in some stuff older than the 80s, which was nice. Like I'm pretty sure they went past the 70s, to be honest with you. It's a decent soundtrack. There is this huge, elaborate reference to The Shining from Spielberg. Spielberg makes this movie, right? As a shout out to like an equally respected writer, Stephen King. He just like masterfully like shoves all of these Shining references into one scene without it being like hokey or overdone or like ruining the fact that he's doing a tribute to Stephen King. That shit, when like that whole Shining section, and I don't want to give any of this away, it's so good. There are so many, like, because it takes place at the Overlook Hotel, and the Overlook Hotel is a pretty, if you've seen The Shining, it's a pretty distinct hotel. It's got the twins, it's got the old lady, it's got the carpet, it's got the right room number. Like everything about that reference, like Spielberg did fucking beautifully as a very nice homage to Stephen King. I fucking loved that part of the movie.
You know, Stephen King hated the movie.
That actually is referenced in the movie that Stephen King hates.
How else would I know that?
That's a good point. You're not a big. Well, I'm not a big Stephen King fan because it's very much sci-fi. I say that, and then I like read the list of Stephen King movies every time, and I'm like, fuck, he made so many good movies. He wrote so many good books.
Yeah, he didn't make any movies. He wrote books.
Yeah, I say that I'm not a Stephen King fan, but like somewhere in me is a huge Stephen King fan. So that said, if you're a sci-fi fan, if you're a Stephen King fan, if you're a fan of longer movies, if you're a gamer, this is kind of a must-see movie. And actually, I've talked to a bunch of people about it since I watched it. Everybody I've talked to liked it way more than I did. I mean, they love the movie. So Tommy has finally put a point on the board and picked a movie that it's at least ranked among the movies that I've picked for him. This is a good one, man.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Pat.
Me too. Thank fucking God.
I can't wait until we do Thursday's episode because I know there's two now that you like.
Oh, because you think that the Days of Thunder episode is going to be
I don't know
similar.
how anybody can't like Days of Thunder.
We'll have to get to that podcast and see how much I liked it.
You liked it. There's no way you didn't. So I watched. Now I don't have to write notes because I have a memory. So I
write the notes as I go through the movie, so I don't forget anything important.
Cool. I watched Sleepers with Pat the other night.
Suckered me right in.
So when Pat said it was a dark movie, I'm assuming, like, yes, while it has a dark like basis to it, it's life, really. You know what I mean? It's not really twisted or anything. Well, it's twisted. It's fucked up.
I think that the part that makes it so dark and twisted to me isn't what actually happens. It's the fact that it could happen to, especially during that time period, it could have happened to anybody. It's like Scream. Scream's so good because that could have happened in any high school.
Yeah.
Sleepers is good because that's any juvenile detention center. So the basis of Sleepers, I'm sure you'll get to, hopefully.
Yeah, I'll explain it.
Yeah, just because if anybody's not seen Sleepers, watch Sleepers. And just like with the podcast, don't have your kids around.
Whoa. I thought this was my review.
Oh, yeah. No,
I
go
get
ahead.
to tell people to watch it or not watch it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Jesus Christ.
Where?
How do you recognize me without my sandals? So, yeah. The movie is about these four kids that were friends in Hell's Corner.
Kitchen.
Yeah, Hell's Kitchen in New York. Best friends. They steal a hot dog cart from this guy and end up injuring a man. He doesn't die, but he gets injured. It rolls down the subway stairs, like into the subway. and hits him. So they all get sent to a juvenile detention center for a minimum of 1 year, no more than 18 months. One of them had a little bit less. And they get there and immediately start getting abused. Immediately. Like, the shit beat out of them. And then the guards start pretty much molesting them, raping them. It's very dark and disgusting. I think, and then they get out and they do what they got to do when they get older. I don't want to ruin it because Pat says I spoil movies. Fuck it. It's 30 years old. I'll tell you what happened. Well,
hold on. For the sake of, like, I need to hear this in a movie review. Who's in it and how did they do?
I don't fucking remember.
Kevin Bacon, man.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon's in it. He's a sick fuck. I'll never watch another movie with him. It's funny that you said that because as we were watching it, I said, who in their right mind takes this role? Who wants that look?
Somebody who wants to flex their versatility as an actor.
Yeah, I gotta tell you.
But you're right. That's like Edward Norton when he's reading the script of American History X and it's like, this is perfect for me. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, but it is when you get to the end. Like, That's a great story. He changed.
But there's also, who's Danny Trejo? You know who Danny Trejo is?
No.
The giant Mexican dude who's in every movie with a single Mexican dude ever.
That's not stereotyping a racist.
No, he's in every fucking movie.
He's in every Mexican movie?
Not Mexican movie. Movie with a Mexican person in it. Here, right here. This guy is Danny Trejo.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
That guy's awesome.
So Danny Trejo dies.
You fart?
No. Nice. That's disgusting. Thank God we're not baked into this little room.
Anyway.
Danny Trejo dies in all of his movies, and he always plays a bad guy. And he does that as an actor because he wants to teach kids that a life of crime invariably ends up with the bad guy dies. So, I mean, they have all different reasons for picking the roles, but I agree. Kudos to the person who's a good actor, Kevin Bacon, and goes, well, fuck it. Some people aren't going to like me after this, possibly, but it's just a movie.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I could do it. But anyway, he fucked a 14-year-old in his ass. He's a sick fuck.
4 of them.
Yeah, multiple times. So they get out and the kids, the only one that was a famous actor was Brad Pitt. I recognized a couple of the other ones, but they weren't. Yeah, I think back in the early 90s when the movie was made, they were popular. I haven't seen them in a movie in years.
Yeah, you get like Kevin Bacon, Brad Pitt, Robert De Niro, Minnie Driver, and just a who's who of B-ray actors, which is a beautiful blend.
Yeah. I think Robert De Niro, great part in that movie. He was the father, pastor, or whatever the hell you want to call him.
Priest.
It's all the same. Not really, but you get it. So these kids get out of jail or the detention center. They go on with their lives. 2 of them turn into pretty much thugs. The other 2 are somewhat successful. One of them is the assistant DA. The other one is a writer for the paper or something like that. And the 2 thugs run into Kevin Bacon at a bar one night and have a little sit down with him. They just happen to stumble into him, perfect timing. And they sat down with him, explained who they were, and then they fucking shot him, which is, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, in front of God and everybody. Just here we are.
Yeah. So then, to make a long story short, their friend, who's the assistant DA, takes the case and pretty much sets up this elaborate plan to get all those guards either killed or put in prison and got his friends off the murder case. Got him, he set up that dumb lawyer. Oh, they had
Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah, Dustin Hoffman as a dumb lawyer. He reminded me a lot of the father in Meet the Fockers.
Robert De Niro?
No. Dustin Hoffman.
His role in Meet the
because
Fockers.
he's so spacey and shit,
Dustin Hoffman is...
He's a good actor.
He's an underrated actor.
Yeah, he's a good actor. He plays a lot of good roles. So he gets his friends off. My review of the movie was, it's good. It's good. It's not a horrible movie. It's not a bad movie. Would I watch it again? Yeah, if there was nothing else on. Yeah, it was good. I don't think it was amazing by any means. It was a good movie.
Yeah. That's another one where we don't see a lot of movies in that style. Not a lot of people are willing to go that far.
Now, what I really want to know, because the thing that plays at the end that says that like the state denies all these accusations.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff. This movie is based off a book that was written by somebody who may have been very possible one of the boys.
Yeah, this does everything short of saying this is 100% a true story.
Yeah, and let's be real. Because it took place in the 70s, the late 60s, early 70s.
You got to be right on that.
Or, yeah, because it couldn't have been the 80s.
No, if anything, it was further back, but I think
Yeah.
you got 60s, 70s is accurate.
And that type of shit was happening all the time. And nobody said nothing. Like, these 4 boys made an agreement before they left that they would never talk about it again.
And of course, so they can't keep the secret from each other because they were in the same room.
Yeah.
But it's very understandable for those 4 kids to go, okay, well, we know, but let's never, ever, ever let anybody else know.
Yeah.
And that's why, in the movie, they I don't think they communicate. 2 of them are still friends, and then the other 2, so of the 4 of them, only 2 of them still talk to each other. It's like 30 years later when they flash forward as adults.
Yeah.
Because you can't get out of that situation and just go back to, business as usual, living with that secret at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie. Not a great movie. It was a good movie. So yeah, go ahead and watch it. Like Pat said, since he ruined my review. You watching anything else?
I watched Days of Thunder.
Other than that?
Movies?
Shows, anything?
No.
Yeah, me neither. I've been a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, so look forward to Thursday's episode. We're going to do The Godfather. I'm probably going to watch that tomorrow. I got the next couple days off, so I'm going to watch it. And I'm not going to lie to you, Pat, I might watch Days of Thunder. Just so that I'm ready.
I bet you watch Days of Thunder before you watch The Godfather.
No, I'm not going to do that. That's not the right thing to do.
Are we not recommending movies because we still have other movies left to review?
Yeah. Well, because there's no reason in recommending more movies for us to watch for next Monday.
Well, I have like 4 days off. So if you have one that you're planning on making me review, now's the time to strike.
I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't really thought about it. Maybe we'll come back to this later in the episode. Let me think about it.
All right, deal.
Memories with a silver lining message.
So we were after poker last night. We were having a conversation with one of the avid listeners of the show. He's a little behind, but we were kind of just exchanging some memories. He had some great stories. One day we're going to sucker him in to coming on the show and telling some stories. Don't worry, we will.
To be fair, I want to tell the story right now, and Pat won't let me because it's the funniest fucking story I've ever heard in my life.
It's not our story, man. It's not for us to tell. But we'll distort your voice. We'll make sure nobody knows who you are. We'll give you a super clever name.
To be fair, I don't want anybody to know who I was either.
I think it's a great side. Listen, the story, that specific story that you're thinking of, could have happened to anybody, man. We've all been there. So.
I don't know if I've been there, dude.
But he requested that this story be told. So I meet a girl. We're going to call her Jasmine. So Jasmine and I meet.
Why are we calling her Jasmine, Pat?
Because she referred to herself as an Arabian princess.
Okay.
Jasmine and I meet at the fish market, and the conversation's going well. So at some point, I don't even know how it came up. I don't know if it was just normal conversation or because I had just moved into your house when I was in between the 2 houses. But either way, I had told her where I was living. Now, I couldn't have told you the level of specificity that I had told her that with, but apparently I had included the address.
Yeah, that's real nice that my home, where my wife sleeps, and my son at the time occasionally stayed, you just give out my address to random people.
Yeah, and you think it was just this one. Anyways.
Oh, I know it wasn't just one because there's another girl that you brought here who I am not allowed to meet, but she's been inside my home. And I have no idea who she is.
Oh, you're completely forgetting about the other one that you did meet that I brought here.
Yeah, that's fine. I met her. At least I met her. These two, I haven't even met.
No, you're going to meet Emily, the current girl, tomorrow. I think.
You told me last night I'm not allowed to meet her.
No, I said you're not allowed to follow me home and tell her all about the podcast today. There's a significant difference between you being Tommy and you being a bag of douches.
Wait, you don't think I'm going to tell her about the podcast tomorrow if I meet her?
If you act like a douche satchel, I will kick you in your nut satchel.
I don't see what the problem is. How is that acting like a... So if I tell her about the podcast...
What happened there is I said, I will kick you in the nuts, and you said, I don't see what the problem is. Perfect. Then we've agreed. There's no problem with me kicking you in the nuts.
What I don't understand, Pat, is it I'm being a douche satchel?
Satchel.
Yeah, whatever. Satchel. If I tell her about the podcast?
Cotton, I'm gonna play out douche satchel for you.
What, is she calling me douche satchel?
No, but douche bag is not nearly as funny as douche satchel.
Sure.
Go ahead.
So if I tell her about the podcast, I'm a douche satchel.
Yeah, Tom. That's exactly what
I don't
it is.
understand how that is. Me spreading the good word of our great podcast is not me being a douche.
If it's to an audience that would agree that the podcast is great, I agree.
How do you know that she won't think the podcast is great?
Would you go into an old folks' home and tell them all about the podcast, Tom?
Absolutely.
You think that that would be something they want to hear?
I told my grandmother about it.
Imagine, okay, just imagine that you put your mouth on my penis and then...
What's up with you wanting to have dudes?
No. I don't mean... Okay. Son of a bitch. That is the third podcast in a row where we have gone way to my dark side. Imagine if you were a girl.
telling you guys.
Let's start there. You're a girl. You're a female.
I'm not
You're
gonna
a lady.
imagine. I'm not.
Imagine.
We talked about this in the last one. I don't believe in choosing to be a different gender. So I can't believe I'm a female. I don't.
You can't even imagine?
No.
All right. Well, everybody else, imagine that you're a female who puts their mouth on my genitalia. And then think of all the stories that you would hear on this podcast. Do you still want to fillet me?
Pat, everybody's a pest.
So what
If
you're
the
saying
person
is,
likes
what
you
you're
for
saying
who
is
you
you would
are-
still fillet me. That's what I'm hearing. So
First
what
off,
you're saying is
I would never fillet you.
There's nothing I could say that would stop you from filleting me, is what you're saying?
I would never fillet you, Pat. I made that very clear already.
On the podcast, not like in some weird general conversation. We should be clear about that.
He's asked me many times to do him a favor. Do like that
Oh my God,
that
that fucking documentary. What was the name of that? Because now everybody's like, what the fuck are they
what the hell was
talking
the
about?
name of it? Oh my God,
All
hold
right,
on.
you look that up. I'll
Yeah,
keep
I'm gonna
going. So anyways, Jasmine and I have some pretty good conversation. And we're talking about maybe hanging out. And Tommy and his wife are on vacation. So for whatever reason, we decided we're not going to hang out on that particular day. No big deal. So of all the things I could be doing at the moment, I'm dropping a nasty aired out deuce in the downstairs bathroom, which is like, if you do a good enough job, you can smell it throughout the downstairs. And I always try to do my best. So I've done a good enough job. I have destroyed this toilet. And the doorbell rings and I'm like, who the fuck is here? Like, I haven't eaten dinner. I just got home from work. Tommy and Erica aren't home. So now this person has to be here for me, or just coincidence. So I go to the door and sure as shit, Jasmine has decided she's going to surprise me by showing up, which let's call a spade a spade. This was somebody who wanted to know what I was up to, thought maybe I was seeing somebody else, or thought I was doing something that I shouldn't have been doing. So she's now just randomly popped up. This is the first time we're ever going to meet. She has unannounced and uninvited shown up at the front door
Of my house.
of, yeah, the place that I'm currently staying.
My house.
Yeah. So,
Where I have guns.
yeah. So anyways, Tom is somehow going to shoot this girl from vacation, but that's beside the point.
Oh, I would have.
So we go through this very awkward hello, and I mean, it is awkward. And we're sitting on the couch. She loves the dogs, which we already disagree on so much there. And we're sitting on the couch. I'm like, oh, this is so awkward. I have no clue what to do. I know she can smell the shit I just took. Like it's just radiating throughout the house. And I'm like, well, like I have to at least, we've come this far. I don't know of a way of getting her out of the house at this point. It's like a vampire. I accidentally invited her in to begin with. So I just kind of like reach over and I put my hand on her hand. She savagely attacks me. I mean, she's like ripping clothes off. She's kissing me all over. We're upstairs in no time. So that's how that goes. And she comes over a couple times. I basically do anything. So this girl is so annoying in person that I can't describe. She talked so much that sometimes I would kiss her just to shut her up. Like, she just never stopped. And she had
Why don't
these...
you grow some balls and tell her to shut up?
I don't know, man. I didn't want to be mean. Where this is going is going to be so much meaner, though.
Facts.
Well, this is
I found the
already
name of
starting
that
off bad.
documentary, by the way. If you guys want a good documentary to watch, if you haven't seen it, Abducted in Plain Sight.
Yeah.
It is fucking hysterical. And I'm not saying the fact that this girl got kidnapped is hysterical. I just want to throw out there, the family is the dumbest fucking family I have ever heard or seen. And the fact that they went on, I guess, national TV, because it's a documentary on Netflix, and told this story about how dumb they are just makes them even dumber.
Abducted in Plain Sight is like the documentary version of what happens with the news when you get Sweet Georgia Brown or Antoine Dotson or Homeboy with the I was just eating my McDonald's. Like, they find the most awful people to interview for news segments and just hone the fuck in on them so that we can meme them and we can turn them into TikTok videos and shit. Abducted in Plain Sight is that. Abducted in Plain Sight is the Tiger King of documentaries.
Tiger King was a documentary.
Tiger King was a docuseries.
Same thing.
Well, no. I mean, for the basis
You
of
get it.
comparison, Abducted
Yeah.
in Plain Sight is a one and done. Carol Baskin, by the way, on Dancing with the Stars this season. Carol Baskin. That
She's on
bitch killed
Dancing-
her husband, and now she's Dancing with the Stars.
Really? She's on this?
Yeah, she's on.
How the fuck is she a star? Anyway, just to throw, like, here's a little teaser about that documentary. The father of the girl who got abducted let the abductor jerk him off because they were friends. Or he jerked off the abductor because they were friends. And the friend said, "You ever just need a release? So I just wanted to help the guy out, and I jerked him off." He's a sick fuck.
The dad or the abductor?
Both of them.
What
But
were you referring to?
the dad. But now that I think about it, the abductor, he's dead now. But pretty smart guy.
Yeah, I think most often when we look at people who do really fucked up stuff, I think
extremely intelligent.
if we really dug in, we would find out just how smart those people are. Even like your Heath Ledger, Robin Williams, Kurt Cobain, Hitler, like the people who we all...
You went really dark there when you said Hitler. Real nice, Pat.
Well, Hitler got millions of people to follow him. So as fucked up as he may have been, he obviously was intelligent enough and he got people to follow him doing the worst shit imaginable, which means he must have been pretty smart.
This abductor guy, what he did to that man.
It's like cult level genius. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the leader of a cult is obviously very, very intelligent.
Anyway, so keep going with the story about
So, yeah.
Jasmine.
So I don't know. This girl, like, we meet each other a couple times. She's not as attractive in person. She's not by any stretch not good looking. She's a very good looking girl.
Is she Pat?
Yeah.
Is she?
Yeah, she's good.
I still haven't seen her, so I don't know.
I got some pictures if you want to see them.
The
That's so
pictures-
fucked up.
The pictures, from what I understand, are farly not accurate.
Farley, not a word, unless you're talking about Chris. Second, I'll get to why that's misleading.
Because she has filters on her phone?
No, I have unfiltered photos of her.
I bet you do.
Photos, not photers. I'm not from New York.
Does Emily know this?
Does Emily know that there's photos of other girls on my phone?
Yeah.
Well, she's never asked.
Fair enough.
Anyways,
Maybe I'll have to bring that up tomorrow.
that's a great idea. That would go over like a fart in church. Oh, dear God.
Pat fucking hates me.
I just want to point out what type of friend Tom is. Never mind, I don't have to. He's a constant reminder in himself.
What's funny is Pat actually thinks I would do the things
Guaranteed.
that he asked me
Guaranteed.
not to do. How is that guaranteed?
I'm 100% on this.
The more you keep saying I'm going to do it, I'm going to fucking do it.
There's
if
your
you
proof,
ask me
folks.
not to do it,
He's going to do it and then blame me.
It will be your fault.
Oh, wow. See how this works out, guys? Tom, by the way, we should, this is a great point.
How do we keep getting off topic from the story?
This is a great point in time to explain that for years I have referred to Tom as my girlfriend. And this is why, because Tom will do some shit where he has this whole time been saying he's going to do something. So then I'm like, you're the type of person who would do that. So then he does it and is like, I did it because you said I would. Oh, that's some girlfriend shit, bro. Don't be my girlfriend.
Pat, if you say you know me as well as you say you know me, then you should know that if you ask me not to do something, I'm not going to do it.
I mean,
As much as I want to, as much as I honestly want to, just to see your reaction to it, I want to do it if you ask me not to do it.
Tom takes more pleasure in my discomfort than you guys could possibly imagine. When I lost last night at poker, which is a fairly rare, I normally do pretty good. I went out in fourth, which is not a good spot for me. Tom literally threw his hands up in excitement and clapped for the person who eliminated
That
me.
was because our friend that was there always loses and he knocked you out. I was happy for him.
You literally said, thank God Pat's not going to win. And then you did some weird celebration.
And that says, too bad another Gallagher's gonna. But
And sure enough, the Beekman did.
yeah, that. But I was really excited that our friend
No, I agree.
was doing a good job last night.
I was happy for
because
him.
usually he's the first one out.
I was happy for him. He did good.
Not to throw our other friend under the bus there. That was there last night. That works with us.
Yeah.
We got to keep inviting him more often, but raise the stakes because he's always out first.
You listen to the podcast too. We're going to call you. We'll come up with a name. I don't have a good one because the name I was going to come up with was extremely revealing. So that wouldn't have helped.
Real nice.
So I'm doing everything I can to get this girl out of my life at this point. Right. I'm sidestepping her. I'm not texting back as often. I'm trying to just play it straight. First off, I should say I was very clear that I, didn't want what she wanted from the beginning. So it's not like there was a period in time where I was playing with her emotional heartstrings or anything like that. Because at the end of the day, if nothing else, I'm honest. So this goes on for, I think it was just shy of a year. This girl texts me a couple times a week to hang out. And I just consistently, I'm like, no, it's not a good idea. We want two different things. I'm going to hurt your feelings. I already have, blah, blah, blah. And she's as persistent as they come. I mean, she just never gives up. And then one day the text messages stopped. So fast forward, we're going back, to sometime during Corona.
Yeah, this was a couple months ago.
And I'm at the counter, and she comes over to the counter. She's in need of something. She's working with the guy next to me. And I walked past her and thought nothing of it. Because I was coming from a different area. I walked right past her, thought nothing of it, to the point that I looked at her and didn't even really check her out because she looked nothing like she has looked in the past. She didn't gain a bunch of weight or lose a bunch of weight. She didn't dye her hair or anything. She just, I was behind her. I didn't notice that it was her. So I go to the counter and she, of course, sidesteps over to my station. She's like, do you remember me? And I'm like, this is so fucking bad. So I put on the smile. I'm like, of course I remember you. How have you been? And she's like, I can't believe that I look like this. And she just leaves. She gets what she was there for. I think she was already done. And she just leaves. And I turn to Suicide next to me. And I'm like, bro, I'm going to count to 30. By the time I get to 30, there's going to be multiple text messages from that girl. And he's like, oh my God, really? And I'm like, listen, that's not what she looks like. She's got a mask on. I don't know what she was either sanding or painting. She was doing something physical. She was in old ratty clothes. She looked fucking bad. I mean, really, really bad. So that said, as soon as Suicide gets out that he can't believe that I would engage with that girl, my phone just starts dinging, ding, 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 like, oh my
Like
god,
you guys
like
hear
a
in every
fucking
episode.
pinball machine. And I'm like, there you go, buddy. So it's all, I haven't seen you in so long. I want to see you. I miss you so much. We were so good together. To be clear, we were never together. But
You were together. You guys slept together. That's what she's talking about.
well, also we lived together in Crazy Land. So I think she's talking about that house when we were together. So in Crazy Land, we were just like a match made in heaven. So it's an off night. I got nothing going on. She's blowing up my phone with the, I want to come over. I want to see you. So I finally am like, listen, you're like, this is going to hurt your feelings. It's going to be really, really bad because there's only one thing that's going to happen when you come over here. And that's not what you want. It is, but it's not, right? So you're going to come over. That's going to happen. You're not staying over. I'm going to kick you out. And then you're going to be super hurt that that's how this played out. Then it's going to be weird for the next several days because I'm not going to text you. We're not dating. It's not what you're trying to make it. And she is like, I completely understand. I was crazy before. I got too emotionally involved, and that's not what you wanted. And you were very clear. And I feel bad that I didn't show you my best side. So I'm like, all right, if you think you're capable of not trying to lock me down and get me to marry you immediately after ejaculation, then come on by. I will gladly deliver whatever STDs to your door that you want. So she comes over. We make it about 3.5 minutes before we're...
STDs aren't jokes, man.
Why do you say that?
It's not funny.
Do you have an STD, Tom?
No, but it's still not funny. I don't know why you joke around about giving people STDs.
Well, first off...
It makes me super uncomfortable, to be honest with you.
Why does it make you uncomfortable? We don't have sex.
Well, you keep trying to get me to give you blowjobs, so yeah.
I should be clear that, as far as I know, never had an STD.
Why would you? This is like going back to the last episode where my son and his friend were joking around with his dad and grandfather about them being gay. You shouldn't joke about it. It's not fun.
Did I hurt your feelings?
I'm just saying, bro. It makes me very uncomfortable that you might be giving random girls STDs.
I think you're uncomfortable because you think I'm going to give you something. And we don't have sex, Tom. STDs, they're sexually transmitted.
You're right. We don't have sex, Pat. We make love. It's totally different. But still.
Alrighty, here we are. So anyways, this girl comes over and we do the hibbity-dibbity. Within about she walks in the door, there is like, hello, how have you been? Oh, that's cool. And then it's on. And this goes on for, I don't know, a decent amount of time. We end up on the back porch. And this girl has a lot of things about her that I don't like. One of them is she's a smoker, which doesn't bother me. I've been with other smokers. It never bothered me. I can smell the cigarettes on her breath and hands for whatever reason, so much stronger. I don't know if she's smoking a brand of cigarette none of us have ever heard of, where it's like they take a cigarette, dip it in like cigarette juice, roll it up, re-dip it in the juice.
You never noticed that, like, with some people, the cigarette smell just sticks to them. Oh, like, obviously you have.
Yeah, this one.
There's some people, or, like, if they clip their cigarettes, that's the worst.
I didn't think of that. Maybe she smokes clips.
That's fucking disgusting. If
Yeah.
you smoke clips, you're disgusting fuck.
But this girl also, she has these weird habits where, she'll stroke my mustache. Well, your fucking fingers smell disgusting. And now you're like, I can't get her hand open. She's covering my fucking mouth with her hand.
Why would you let somebody stroke your mustache?
She's weird. But now all I can do is breathe through my nose because she's got my mouth covered because she's debating on whether to let me live or die. So
I hate people touching my face.
I got to tell you, I'm fine with it as long as it's if I'm being intimate with somebody. Why would I have? They can touch everything else except my beehole. Why not let them touch my fucking mustache?
You let everybody touch your beehole. Cut it out.
I can't. It's too awkward. But so that's one weird habit, or I guess weird thing about her. She smells to high hell like smoked cigarettes, like an ashtray all the time. There is also a time, actually it might have been that first time when she...
I hate to say this, if somebody smells like cigarettes like that, immediately put them in a category of you're a dirty person.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like,
I agree.
If
She's a
you
little gross.
smell like that all the time, dude, you're a dirty fuck and you don't shower.
Yeah. This is the same girl. I think I've told you this. It's not the only girl that this happened to, but it did happen with her. And we know about my gag reflex. You sneeze, I gag.
I had a good one this morning. You would have fucking puked everywhere.
Ugh, it's gross to think about. I can't deal with like the first time a girl queefed in front of me. I almost threw up on her back. We were in that position, and I had like pulled out, and like as soon as I pulled out, it was like, and I was like, what the fuck, man?
Have you ever been?
I'm like dry heaving over, like trying to continue, and she can't see me. And I'm just like.
Have you ever been going down on a girl and they fart in your face?
I have been tossing a girl salad and she farted right in my mouth.
That's no. I would have fucking killed her.
Here's the kicker.
I was upset when I was going down on a girl and she farted in my face. Not once, not twice, but 3 times.
What? In the same session?
Yeah.
Oh, so she was just gassy. You should have gotten out of there after the second one. The
Yeah.
third one's on you.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to get into any more details than that. I'll tell you off air.
The defect, the little defect, who has been talked about on the show, not only farted directly into my mouth, her immediately response, and I'm sure it's because she was embarrassed, but we've played since that happened, because I'm friends with most of my exes, we've played that up as she did it on purpose. I swear she did it on purpose. She swears she didn't, and that she was embarrassed, and that's why she laughed. I swear she was pushing the fucking fart, and that's why she laughed. Either way, it was like an aired out, it was a good audible fart right directly into my mouth, and it was fucking gross.
I would have fucking puked everywhere. It's disgusting.
She also, I guarantee you, everybody knows somebody who can do this. She could like move her hips in a weird way, laying down, and like bring air into her vagina, and then make herself queef. And she queefed in my mouth while I was going down on her. That was fucking gross.
It's gross.
There's nothing. Let's be clear about this. There's nothing cute about a lady fart. I don't care which fart style it comes in, front or back. Lady farts are disgusting.
Yeah, facts.
Anyways, so I was going to go down on Jasmine. I think it was the first night we met. In fact, I'm like 99%. And she had some leftover toilet paper, in her vag folds. And that, my gag reflex, man, I can't fucking handle. So now, okay, so your tongue is rocking the man in the boat. And
first of all, if you know that you're going to be getting down with someone, listen, man, I understand. Stuff happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It happens. But if you know that you're going to be getting laid or whatever, wouldn't you make sure your shit's cleaned up?
Yes, would. I mean, I even go as far as to, especially
this just shows you what a dirty bitch this girl is.
Yeah, especially if it's somebody new. I'm shaving balls, which is kudos to you ladies, because you know how bad that itches for the next several days. I take that sacrifice for you, mostly because I want you to lick my balls. But I go out of my way to make sure that you're going to have a hair-free meal, and that's important.
Gotta love being married. I don't do any of this shit.
I'm sure she loves that you don't.
Yeah, whatever.
So, again, here we are. I'm dry heaving and going down on this girl at the same time because I can't get the thought of this. Which you got tongue on the man in the boat, digits inside of her, and now I'm doing that weird claw pinch, right, to get the toilet paper without saying hey, you have a roll of Charmin in your vagina. So you move it at first, and then you just give a little swat and get it out of there. But so I still live with that. There's just lots of things about her that annoy me, and that's just kind of the shit icing on the shit cake. So this girl leaves. She's gotten what she came for. She's gotten what I, wanted.
You just use women all over the place.
That's not true. She technically used me. She knew exactly what I was going for. She drove way out of her way to come see me.
She's just trying to rekindle the love.
Yeah, she sure was. The love that didn't exist. You know what? Technically, she succeeded. We are just as we are just as much in love today as we were at any other time in the relationship. So that's perfect. So fast forward, this girl is, I mean, she's texting me nonstop. She's making plans for the house, my house, that she will never ever be invited over to again at this point.
Didn't she ask you if you need a roommate or some shit?
She asked me. She said that I want to say she's 31, and she was like, my parents say that I'm too old to live at home, and you really need a roommate. Why don't I just stay here? And I'm like,
she still
what?
lives with her parents?
Oh yeah. And that's not like, so some people run into things and end up back with their parents, and I totally understand that. I have no gripe with
everybody
that.
needs help. I understand that.
In her defense, I think that culturally you don't leave your parents' house until you're with your forever person.
Well,
right?
Poor her, that will be never.
Yeah. If anybody locks her down, I don't know what the fuck is going through their mind. So she just is destroying my phone with text messages. Like, I'm going to have to plug my fucking phone in after having sex with this girl because she's taking so much of the battery out of it. First, she sucked the life out of me. Now she's sucking the life out of my battery. So I'm in JCPenney. JCPenney's going out of business here in town. And I'm shopping around. And she just kind of, oh, you know what? It's when I got the bag of dicks. I got a bag of dicks mailed to me, little gummy dicks.
Did you ever figure out who that was?
No, but this was during my search, my Sherlock Holmesing. And so I texted her and I was like, hey, I don't want this to like do anything weird. I'm not trying to rekindle anything. I'm not trying to reach out to you. I'm not like inviting you over. I'm just asking a very simple question. Did you send me something in the mail? Because I think for the first 6 hours of having the bag of dicks that this is hilarious and somebody has made a joke. Now my thinking has turned and I'm like, maybe this was like an all-out assault. Like maybe somebody's really mad at me and is trying to tell me by sending me a bag of dicks. So who better than the most recent? So I am, I shoot her the, did you send me anything in the mail? She's beating around the bush. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Why don't you tell me what it is? Maybe it was me. Well, here's the thing. If you sent me something in the mail, it's the only thing you've ever sent me. So you know exactly what it is. So I realized that she's trying to like sucker me into more conversation. And I'm like, okay, obviously it wasn't you. So I text her. I'm like, obviously it wasn't you. I didn't mean to like get your hopes up or be weird in any way. I just thought maybe it was you. If it was you, you already would have taken credit for it because it was fucking hilarious. So obviously not you. I apologize. So she sends me back a message. Now here's your silver lining, right? There's always a way out. No matter what, there's a way out. So she sends me back a message that says something along the lines of, I don't know why you think I would mail you something that's hilarious. I don't go for that basic white boy bullshit. So I'm like, thank you so very much, sweet little teeny tiny baby Jesus, because you have given me the out. And I text her back and I'm like, you know what? Obviously, we're on two different levels. I did not realize that you were a racist. Please don't talk to me ever again. Delete me. So she sends back, like, I'm so sorry. You mistook what I was saying. And I'm just like, delete me. And she's like, no. What we have is so great. I would never mail you something that, wasn't funny. Of course, I would mail you something funny. So I'm like, delete me. And she's like, you don't understand. I'm not racist. I would never be racist. Why would I sleep with you if I'm racist? I'm like, delete me. This was legitimately probably 15 or 16 delete me's. That's the last time we ever talked. The delete me's finally got her.
Pat, let me ask something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you really think what she said was racist?
Tom, I don't really think she's racist. That wasn't the important part of the story. The important part of the story, the silver lining here, is there's always a way out.
You're a horrible person.
That's fair.
Fucking horrible. All right, so we're going to move along here. Pat told me this morning when he got here that he had an epiphany in his bathroom, so I can't wait to see where this is going to go.
Yeah, so do you ever...
Hold on, man, hold on. I just started thinking about something here. Who the fuck wrote that goddamn message on iTunes?
Beer for my turtles.
Yeah, who the fuck is it, man? Because you know what? I'm really upset with what they said.
Hold on. We are 59. We are 1 hour exactly into the podcast, and you're back at 30 seconds in.
First off, it was more like 2.5 minutes in. But yeah, you know what? I just started thinking about it. What a fucking asshole.
So we have been on air for an hour, and you go all the way back to basically the depth of one full sex session with Tommy into this conversation.
2.5 minutes?
Yeah.
Give or take.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Who knows?
You do know who it is, and you're not fucking telling me.
Tom, why do you think I know who it
Because
was?
you're fucking grinning from ear to ear right now. So I want to know who it was. And if you wrote it, that's all I want to know, Pat. If you wrote it and posted it as somebody else's, I'm fine with it.
I can't remember who it was.
You're a fucking asshole.
That's so weird.
Pat, you're a piece of shit.
That's fair.
The fact that you know that this is bothering me and you're not going to tell me who it was.
Yeah. That's where we're at.
I can't wait to meet Emily tomorrow. See, this is why shit like this happens. Because you're an asshole, so I decided to be an asshole back.
Just to be clear, you're going to do something destructive to my life because I'm not doing anything?
You are being destructive in my life.
How
you
do
know
you
that
figure?
that review is bothering me. And
All I'm doing is not telling you who wrote it. I'm not
you,
doing
Mother.
anything. I'm doing the opposite. I'm doing nothing.
I can tell by the way it's written. It was you.
Oh, okay. Then sure, it was me. That's fine.
Who was the motherfucker?
You just said it was me.
Who was it, bad?
I'm so confused. You know by the way it was written that it was me, but you're asking me who wrote it. Interesting.
Who posted it? How's that?
I guess that was me too. I did it from my phone, right?
Carry on with your epiphany, Pat.
For the record, I did write a review from my phone and it didn't go through. I think iTunes might censor the reviews. I'm not positive, but I should have been the first review and it didn't ever come up. You're a big guy. I'm a big guy. I don't know if this is a big guy problem or if this is an everybody problem. I can tell you it's probably more of a male problem than a female problem. I'm sitting on the toilet. Do you ever do this? Your legs go like numb. Yeah. Specifically one or the other, which makes no sense to me because it's not like it's always my left leg. It's one or the other. Sometimes both, but very rarely. Right. So like your weight is not evenly distributed.
Yeah, you need one of those pillows.
A shit pillow?
No, like one of the pillows for the hemorrhoid.
Oh, yeah. That would probably serve multiple purposes in my house. Herbie. Shout out to Herbie the hemorrhoid. He has not been around lately. We're going to try to keep him at bay. So this is going on. It's extremely uncomfortable. And I know that it's because I sit on the toilet for way too long. I go home after work, I sit on the toilet, and I play video games, right? So it occurs to me, in my bathroom, I've never been in this situation before, but the toilet is directly next to the tub. Like if you're sitting looking at the bathtub. So I'm like, I wonder if I could get this pins and needles feeling in my lower legs and feet to go away because it's very distracting from my video games. So I basically am sitting in a reclined position on the toilet, like taking a shit in a beach chair because now my feet are up on the edge of the tub or at one point just laying across the top of the tub. So now I have like a Barca Lounger toilet. And this was the epiphany that I had. It's the best part of my bathroom now is that I can put my legs out and it does not happen. The pins and needles went away almost immediately because whatever changed.
What we should do is invent a toilet that's a recliner.
I'm with you. And I think there should be arms on the toilet. Why are there not armrests on toilets? I don't know. But there should be. Especially in like residential, maybe not in commercial. I mean, I don't want to go to the truck stop and share an armrest with the guy who has like fucking scabies or whatever. But in my home, I could just hit it with a bleach wipe if somebody questionable comes over, like fucking Jasmine.
We should cut this out because we just gave away our $1 billion idea.
I'm pretty sure we're safe on this one. If anybody tries to patent this, we'll just play this section. We'll play the whole episode for the patent office and we'll prove that it was us that came up with it.
Maybe they'll know who wrote that fucking review.
But I say this to anybody who ever plans to shit at my house. You've got one hell of a setup. It is a very inviting.
I gotta tell you, Pat's bathroom is the smallest bathroom I've ever been in. It sucks.
Are you uncomfortable in my bathroom?
Yes.
You should try the recliner. That's wonderful.
I don't know. I got in trouble last time I took a shit at your house.
That's because you unleashed a jihad on my toilet.
It happens, bro. What are you gonna do?
It was, oh my God, I'm having flashbacks. I think I have PTSD from that.
All right, so we're gonna go into the recliner toilet making business.
Mason, you were there. I know how you feel. Tom's shit was something that we both have to live with, man. We'll get over it.
Sorry, guys.
Hey, if you need to talk to me, give me a call.
Was it Mason who wrote the review?
I think Mason would come up with a better name than.
Well, and
Beer
Mason
for
would
my
never say
turtles.
those bad words about me. Mason and I are
Well, I don't
friends.
agree with that. I think Beer for My Turtles would not be Mason's speed. Mason, where the fuck have you been? Are you there, Mason?
He was supposed to be. Well, he wrote me a message the other day, let him know how The Godfather was because he was thinking about watching it because he's never seen it.
You guys are fucking turds.
Yeah, well, I offered for him to be a guest on today's show because I want to try out this new thing I got where we can just do phone calls through the computer.
Yeah.
And put people on. But he declined, so go fuck yourself.
Well, hey, open invitation. Somebody wants to be on the show. We'll give you a call while we're.
I also tried to recruit my mom to be on a guest on the show since she writes in so
Fuck
much.
yeah, she's funny as shit.
She said there's no fucking way that she could have a conversation with Pat.
Wow, that really hurts, Pamela. I love you.
She said, there's no fucking way I could do it. I would scream and yell at Pat. And I said, well, that's the fun.
That's weird because I always assumed when we were having our winky face conversations that you were screaming with me, not at me.
That's fucking disgusting. There's something wrong with you.
Why would you say that your mother's disgusting? That's extremely
I'm
rude.
not saying my mother's
Your
disgusting. I'm
mother's
saying
a sweet and gentle lover.
I hope my dad comes up here and fucking pistol whips you.
I'm not gonna lie, your dad's, for a small man, he's pretty intimidating.
Yeah. Imagine growing up with.
Yeah, that's, well, I mean, ditto. My dad.
Oh, your dad's a great guy. I love your dad.
I love your mom. I don't understand why you can love my dad, but I can't love your mom.
Because it's not the same type of love, Pat. You're trying to have relations with my mother in a sexual manner.
Well, not again. I think we've gotten past it now.
Yeah. Where I just think your dad's a stand-up guy. He's a great guy. He is a hardcore American.
That he is, no doubt.
And I think he is funny. He's a good time.
He is.
I might like him more than I like your mom.
My dad tells.
I take that back. Danny, if you're listening, I love you.
Wow. My dad tells some of the funniest jokes I've ever heard the first time. My dad also tells the same jokes
400
for
times.
months. I mean,
Yeah.
he'll call me out of the blue and be like, I just heard this joke. And I'm like, is this the same joke you called me for last week? He's like, I don't know. What was that joke? And I tell him, and he's like, oh, damn it. All right, I'll call you later. And I'm like, what the fuck? He loves retelling jokes. It's crazy.
Well, probably because he remembers the initial laugh. You know, it's like when you hear the same story by the same person 400 times.
I feel like you're cueing me in on that.
What do you mean? Did that to you?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
Wink face.
continue.
I said wink face.
No, I heard you. You were
That's it.
making a point. Oh, okay. So it's similar to hearing the same story over and over.
Yeah, I don't understand why you couldn't get that. Everybody else got it.
I don't know.
Maybe you're slow.
I was waiting on the edge of my seat to hear what you had to say.
I want to know who wrote that fucking review. Anyway. Are we done here? Anything else you want to talk about, Pat?
No, we have some stories. We had some mail time. We had a couple movie reviews.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up. Pat's taking forever. Go watch Abducted in Plain Sight on Netflix if you want to go laugh. It's a sad story. It really is. But at the same time, these people are so fucking dumb. I don't know how in the world this could have happened. It happened in the 70s, too. So I guess maybe that has something to do with it, but they're dumb.
The naivete was, it's so funny because people were so much more naive back then, like with like kidnappings or with serial killers or whatever. I mean, I can't tell you how many girls that I've met at the fish market that are like, here's my address, please don't be a serial killer. Now it's common knowledge. Like they're already thinking it through all the time, which jokes on them. I still get most of them buried. But
so funny.
Why is that not funny? Okay,
It's
serial killer jokes are no longer allowed on the Number 9 podcast. Real
It's
nice.
like joking about fucking STDs. It's just not funny.
Oh, Jesus. Did you see, I think I sent you the headline that they finally labeled Tupac's death?
Yeah, it was COVID-19.
COVID-19 got Tupac. I fucking knew it. I said that from the beginning.
Pat, we should do a whole episode where we just review funny memes. The problem with that is that they have to be like good punchlines and not really have to see the picture for it because we're a podcast.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's there's a way to do it. I don't know what the way is yet.
I think we asked Cotton to send us her folder of memes because you said did you ask her that?
Cotton. No, I didn't text her. I forgot.
No,
Cotton,
there's a fucking surprise.
you have, I'm confident of this. She is without a doubt the meme queen. I'm sure that name's already taken, but if it wasn't, Cotton should be the meme queen.
Kai, can you figure out if you can send me your folder of memes? Just send it to my email because I'd like to go through them so that me and Pat can do an episode on funny memes.
Yeah. And then I guess we would have to set them up like as a slideshow.
Well, I was just thinking this, Pat, we could do it as a thing on YouTube.
Yeah. And just kind of go through the memes. But how great for all of you. You can all send in your best memes to the email, not to our phones.
Yeah.
Send it to the email. And then we'll just fire, like Tosh.0 when he does the, like, how many jokes can we make about this in 30 seconds? We'll give each meme like 10 or 15 seconds and just run through.
All right. So next episode, we're going to have a special guest. We're going to let you hang on the edge of your seats for who it is. It will be a first time, long time. I can tell you that. We're going to review The Godfather and Days of Thunder on that one, and I'm sure we'll have other topics to talk about. Football starts a week from today, Pat. I don't know if you realize that. Actually, I think it starts on Thursday night. Are they playing Thursday night?
For preseason?
No, football.
Really?
Really?
We're that close?
Yes, sir.
That is extremely exciting.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about the pool that we normally do, but whatever. Email us, the9podcast@gmail.com, or you can go to our website, number9podcast.com, and there's a link in there that you can just shoot us an email that way. Or you can go tweet at us, number9pod, @number9pod, or on Facebook, number9podcast with Tommy. I want to thank everybody for listening. Getting pretty good downloads for the last episode. Again, I'm still going to do if you send us feedback or questions or whatever, and we do not know who you are, unlike the beer for my turtles person, because we know who that is. At least one of us does. I will send you a t-shirt. And Don, Pat will give you a t-shirt.
Wow, I just gave out a free t-shirt. Don, that means you have to meet with me somewhere.
Yeah, Don, call him.
I'm not mailing you a t-shirt. We're getting dinner.
Pat has one for you. Anything else you want to add, Pat?
So instead of doing like a little nice thing to say, I'm going to, have you ever heard of Murphy's Law?
Yeah.
What is it to you?
If a ball in motion stays in motion until acted upon by an outside force.
That is not Murphy's Law. That is not at all. Murphy's Law is anything that can go wrong will go wrong. It's like the Irish believe in
what
Murphy's
law is that then?
That's the law. Oh my God. If you didn't say that, I could have told you what law that was.
Yeah, sure.
I don't even know if that's a law. Is it ball in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by an outside?
Newton's law.
Newton's law. There you go. So yeah, this went far better than I expected to. We finally got one of Tommy's little Tommyisms in there. That's perfect.
How's that Tommyism? At least I fucking...
It's like the popcorn thing, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was mistaken from one law to another.
Classic.
Ha.
But we're clear on what Murphy's Law is. I mean, we even discussed Newton's Law. Have you ever heard of Cole's Law?
Coleslaw, yeah.
Motherfucker, you ruined it. Oh my God.
That pisses you off, don't it, Pat?
Cole's Law is thinly sliced cabbage. Oh, fuck you for ending the podcast by defeating me, you son of a bitch.